Welcome back to the LCS. Before we jump into Game 5 with our playoff teams locked, I want to put the analysts in the hot seat with some knee-jerk bracket predictions. So we've already pre-populated our quarterfinal matchups: TSM, Echo Fox, FlyQuest, Golden Guardians. Seeding still to be decided. But gentlemen, we're going to start here. TSM, Echo Fox. So hi, what's the call? Who comes away with the victory?
No contest, TSM. Not even close.
TSM, boom, just
Big
like
agree.
that. What about over here, both of you?
I'm going TSM, you, Mark. Big agree.
Very big matter agree.
Pin your faces.
Very
Get
big
your
matter
faces
agree.
up there. Boom. So what that means then is I will also slot TSM. Well, actually, I'll wait because we're going to wait until the other quarterfinal matchups are done. So, and TL will predict. But, gentlemen, why is it that we have so much faith in TSM to walk away with this victory, even with Echo Fox surging?
They just looked amazing. They are playing the early game really well. Their compositions are super creative. And if Echo Fox is feeling like they can scale a little bit, TSM is the team to punish that.
I think that's the big thing is we've been saying Echo Fox looks so much more consistent. They're more reserved. This is great. And they were able to beat a bunch of other teams that way. But TSM, you saw, is fast and aggressive, and they're looking to exploit things every step of the way. And that is a really tough matchup.
Right. I mean, we saw them both beat Team Liquid, right? But TSM's win was very dominating. And yes, Echo Fox has gotten better from where they were before. But it's like going from like a B to like an A, right? Where TSM was like an A to an S is how I feel about it.
Fair enough. Let's talk about our other quarterfinal matchup, FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians. Obviously, Golden Guardians got the win here earlier today. We'll see them play one more time for seeding. But this is a best-of-5, and those are different animals. So, hi, starting with you again. Who comes away with that best-of-5 victory?
You know, it's hard to say because I played on both those teams, so I feel bad for voting for one of them. But I think I have to choose Golden Guardians.
Golden Guardians is the call. So, hi's going there. Crumbs, what about you?
It's a tough one, and I think that for this one, I'm actually going to go with FlyQuest.
Woo! Okay, we've got our first difference here in the playoff stage. So that means, Mark, you're in a sense a tiebreaker.
Throw me in Golden Guardians.
Golden Guardians.
You got it.
Lock it in right there. All right, gents, discuss. Why is it that you have faith in Golden Guardians?
Well, I think Golden Guardians just has a deeper champion pool. Like, Fragas specifically plays a ton of different things. And even though it's a best-of-5, I think Haunter will bust out some mages, and that kind of does throw things for a loop. I'm expecting them to be able to like have a deeper champion pool and express that in the best-of-5.
Fair enough.
I think it's super close. I think the champion pool things are true maybe for the top half of the map. I am concerned a little bit about Golden Guardians' bot half of the map and what can happen if the Tom Kenches start getting banned out and those kinds of things. But even with that taking into account, I think Golden Guardians has a much more defined style right now that they're playing much better than FlyQuest, who feel a little lost with their drafts.
Which actually fits really well into my point, which is that I think that FlyQuest, the style they need to go for is going with Turtle in that hyper carry. Earlier today, he played the Lucian. I don't think that's what works for them. The Jinx, the Corki in the mid lane. Pobelter has just as deep a champion pool as Frog, and it's just a little more standard.
So all we need to do is ban Jinx, is what you're telling me.
Yes, right, but definitely can
Perfect.
also play Jinx.
You guys hear that?
Lots of hyper carries. I think that FlyQuest, when Santorian plays the Kindred, the Skarners as well, they looked really good, and I think that their victories have been just as impressive.
The teams on stage are heading into Champion Select, so we'll revisit this bracket prediction for playoffs the next time you guys see us. But for now, of course, we have Team Liquid against Golden Guardians moving into the semifinals, and Cloud9 against TSM as predicted by you analysts, and we'll see who moves on to the finals in just a bit. Let's head into that 5th game of the day as Champion Select is underway.
Big gents, I was enjoying that. I wanted to find out who's gonna win.
Yeah, now we gotta wait for the cliffhanger episode.
Exactly.
But in the meantime, we do have another episode of LCS coming up for y'all here. It's OpTic Gaming going up against 100 Thieves. Now, just to set the stage for everybody, remember both of these teams, as of yesterday for OpTic Gaming, as of last week for 100 Thieves, have been eliminated from playoff contention, so they will not be moving any further past this week. But we are going to be seeing the regular roster here for OpTic Gaming coming in. 100 Thieves will be sporting their Academy roster in 4 out of 5 roles, but will still retain Bang on 80 carry for this game.
Yep, Academy roster plus a world champion. Not a bad upgrade
There
there.
you go.
So we'll see. I mean, certainly we know that the motivation is going to be there for the Academy teams, right? They are looking to prove themselves, especially when you are playing on a squad that missed out on playoffs, that, you know, certainly had a very disappointing split. Hey, maybe you could be fighting for that starting spot if you can show that you can have a good performance on the LCS stage.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and take a look at what things are shaping up to be so far. Tom Kench, Akali, Rek'Sai banned away by OpTic. 100 Thieves getting rid of Thresh, Jace, and Lissandra. OpTic will first pick the Jace for themselves. 100 Thieves grabbing the Braum and the Ryze.
And Garen being covered there. Last champion to never be picked in the LCS, according to the stats.
Is he really
I
the
read.
only one remaining?
Yeah, apparently.
Well, can't say I'm surprised. Poor Garen. He's great for learning the game against bots and stuff, but
He's got some good matchups.
like a bot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like any bot.
Well, sadly, we are going to see no Garen locked in. Instead, it will be the Sejuani picked up for the side of OpTic. They're also going to grab themselves the Galio here to pair with that Sylas.
Gonna be interesting to see if this is a mid lane Galio, which we have been seeing a little bit more of recently. Have seen in Korea, it showed up here as well. I believe Soligo actually did play it yesterday. It had been almost exclusively relegated to that support role, but making a little bit of resurgence mid, so we'll find out if it's gonna be Big or Crown. I tend to kind of prefer it being played support, especially when Crown has been, I think, the best player
absolutely.
for OpTic. You really want to see him on something with a little bit more agency to carry.
That's what I was going to say, is Crown has been, for me, the standout player on the OpTic Gaming roster in the games that they have popped off, and to put him on something like Galio doesn't seem like the winningest option. So over on the side of 100 Thieves, they're going to pick themselves up a hyper carry, putting Bang on the Vayne.
And you have to remember, yesterday it was OpTic going all scaling, across the map, trying to play for that late game with their Kog'Maw. It really did not work out for them whatsoever. They got rolled over. We'll see if they're going to be able to draft a bit more of a well-rounded composition here today, or even if they are going to try to go late, try to play a little bit more evenly in those early stages.
Looking at the bans coming through now, 100 Thieves will pay attention to that AD carry pool, getting rid of the Kalista. They don't want their Vayne getting bullied around in the early game, as OpTic Gaming bans out Ivern. Now, fun fact, if you don't know, Meteos does not like Ivern as a champion. Me and him have had extensive conversations about this, and so he just probably wants to make sure that if for some reason in the last game of the day, I also saw Kobe on Twitter.
Yeah, I think Fragas is an Ivern player.
Yeah, Kobe sent Fragas a message on Twitter. He was like, "We gonna see that Ivern?" So Meteos is preemptively making sure he doesn't have
no,
to
we're
play
not, Kobe.
against all that buff-stealing nonsense. So Ivern's banned out. They don't want to deal with that one, and Draven will be the other ban here for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, banning a lot of the lane bully style. That arrow does have a lot of success on. He's known for his Draven. Kalista can be very tough to deal with for that Vayne here also. So certainly looking to protect that hyper carry on Bang. And I think that that's certainly a strong win condition to play to. Try to allow Bang to succeed. Give him the space to really shine in this game. Nunu would be something to do that, right? That's more frontline. That's also the attack speed buff that is going to be coming out that will be landing on Vayne, and certainly going to be very effective in that regard. Can also create a lot of space in these team fights with the ultimate as a zoning tool. Can kind of section out some of those members and push them back away from the Vayne.
And I like seeing that. You can see here, pick rate 2%, has only been picked in 2 games so far overall. This split has won neither of those. We'll see if 100 Thieves can give it its first win here with this one.
Twitch?
As OpTic. Oh, the lock in the Twitch. All right, this is what I was hoping to see, is a couple creative picks here in what is going to be the last game of regular play for Spring Split.
Certainly scaling, 2-match scaling here. We know Twitch can be an absolute monster in the late game. That team fight can be extremely terrifying when Twitch is hitting that 2-3 item power spike. You can be shredding through a team with the ultimate, and even just kind of firing over the Nunu ult towards that Vayne, trying to take him down. Twitch also very effective on those roams, can be a champion to help assassinate someone who is split pushing like the Ryze. If you have Sylas and Ryze dueling it out in the side lane, all of a sudden Twitch shows up, can really throw in the wrench to the gears of that split push.
And I like seeing the fact that the Irelia is locked in as the final pick here for OpTic. It means that the Galio will be going into support.
Yep.
Now, the Irelia and Sylas can both go into either one of the solo lanes, so we'll see who goes where in terms of what Crown and Dhokla will each be piloting. And the final pick of the draft is the Jax for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and no matter which matchup it is for that Jax, certainly expect Jax to be outscaling, to be winning in that 1v1. We know that Jax is a late game split push monster, and this is honestly a really strong 1-3-1 style comp that 100 Thieves have drafted. I will say the one thing I feel like they're kind of lacking is a lot of wave clear from that 3-man squad. If you're going to send Ryze and Jax out to those side lanes, Vayne, Braum, and Nunu is not a ton of wave clear. So really,
it's not any wave clear.
You might need to see even something like a static shift to try to supplement that. But if you are playing from ahead, hey, maybe the 3-man squad is not even going to be pressured. So we'll see if they can make it happen. You also have to remember, Twitch really can be good at collapsing on those side lanes. Galio also does that incredibly well. So they do have opportunities to engage on and pick off those side lane split pushers from 100 Thieves.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, loading into Summoner's Rift for the final game of regular season play here in Week 9 for Spring Split 2019. There will be one tiebreaker to play between Golden Guardians and FlyQuest after this, but for now, it's OpTic looking to end their season on a win here, in their split on a win, excuse me, as 100 Thieves will see if they can get these Academy players a win here on the LCS stage.
Gonna be hungry for it. Would love to be able to take down OpTic, and both these teams trying to end their season on a high note. Certainly, you're gonna be disappointed with where they did end in the standings. Both will be missing out on playoffs, but a lot of pride to play here for.
Absolutely. Plus, we get to see the Nunu, we get to see the Twitch, a couple of these creative picks. Jax is not exactly something that's in the meta right now either, but considering he becomes a full-fledged attack helicopter with, like, what is it, 90% uptime on the E once he has Spear of Shojin, the champion can get pretty crazy in the late game.
Yeah, he's monstrously strong at that stage. And Dhokla is going Ignite. Never thought I'd see the day in competitive play, but it's getting spicy.
Double Ignite on both OpTic solo lanes. There's not going to be, there's not a single teleport available. There's no summoner spellbooks to swap one in. OpTic is going all in on just smash the early game.
Yeah, you have got to slam the Jax in the early game if you want to go for that Ignite on the Sylas here. Trying to put some respect on his name here, Dhokla, looking to get aggressive. And you have played with me, you know no top laner likes to load in with the TP and see they're playing against Ignite. You're like, playing for the team.
As soon as you see that,
just a greedy solo queue player.
FakeGod's time. Hey, Nunu, gonna need some ganks up here, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, Ignite is so powerful now in that 1v1. If you do all in, you got to be really, really careful. And FakeGod going to be starting to stun. You got to be careful about face checking this too.
All right, a little bit of damage traded back and forth from both. Trade is honestly just going to be really even. Dhokla didn't get to proc his Grasp of the Undying because he didn't get the auto attack after he had already built it up. So no advantage there in terms of farming the HP. Fragas will start off here in the bottom side. Remember to keep your eyes out for big old snowballs. Nunu is adept at lane ganking, more so than probably any other champion.
Yeah, definitely up there with the very best of them for sure. And it's also one of the kind of cool things about that snowball is actually how agile you can be. This is not like a Scion ultimate. You can actually drift around corners quite effectively. It's a lot easier to do so on the Nunu than it is on the Scion and some of the other kind of comparable ultimates. So certainly a lot of ability to kind of chase down members of the opposing team if they're pushed up too far.
I remember when the champion first got reworked, I didn't play against it for a while because it just wasn't that popular. And then when I finally played against it, I was like, wait, what the hell? He can turn this thing so sharp. I thought I was turning around the corner and being clever, and he just swerves it right into you anyway, but he'll just stroll on through mid lane right now. Getting pinged out by OpTic there, saying, all right, we know where Nunu is. Meteos, you're not in any danger of having the Scuttle Crab contested. We'll see if Meteos decides to try to do anything here, knowing where Fragas is heading.
Yeah, I think Meteos definitely going to be wanting to play to the top side of the map, trying to protect his laner from any potential ganks, because if you die without TP and the lane is pushing into you, you lose so much. You really do have to capitalize on that TP early to be able to make the most of it. And Meteos getting some counter jungling here done. Wait, Dokla's going into the tower there.
Dhokla takes some damage from the tower. Fragas starts rolling a snowball towards the top lane, only to then notice that Meteos is right next to him and can walk in the way of the snowball. So a little bit of fiasco going on up here.
Yeah.
Not quite a fiesta. It's not extended enough.
No, it is not. It's just I don't even know. I'm not going anywhere with that. So
all right. We're going to see the chain get slammed down to keep that Jax pushed in. As the Nunu will come in here, looking to stop Meteos from counter jungling, but Meteos is doing a good job trying to keep these under control here.
Fragas that
Fragas is in some trouble. Nunu going to be taken very low, taken down. The first blood over to Crown, and the Ignite makes sure of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a misclick from Fragas or what, but he kind of just flashed further down into the pit. It looked maybe he was trying to get closer to Soligo, or that could have been just a straight up misclick, but Meteos takes away 2 of the Nunu's camps. They get first blood on him. It's flashed down there as well. Crown is going to be off to the races here a bit. That's going to be a double buffs Irelia, something you always hate to lane against here. As Soligo's now sitting low on mana, your trades just mean so much less with that red buff regen. And he can spam out Q as much as he wants.
Yeah, Crown can just auto-clear the waves, spam Q daily, nightly, ever so rightly. Soligo's just sitting here with no mana in his pool like, all right, well, what do I do now?
Yeah, so let's watch this one more time. The invade is coming over, and Irelia plus Sejuani, such a strong duo in these early. So he's flashing the stun. That's what he's trying to avoid. But it is a tough position because there's not really any way out when you flash down further into the pit. I'm not sure if he could have actually flashed further over to the wall to the right, but that certainly was what he was trying to avoid. And he did, to his credit, avoid that Irelia stun, but does end up going down either way. And it is first blood plus double buffs at early. Tiamat even coming here through for Crown is going to be feeling so, so good.
Fragas keeps trying to roll these snowballs, but it's summertime in Summoner's Rift, and that one sort of evaporated pretty quickly as he's not finding much success anywhere on the map so far. Behind Meteos in terms of farm, both of them do have the enchanted smites, at least, on their jungle items. I would expect to see nothing other than a Cinderhulk on both of these junglers.
Yeah, almost guaranteed to just be double Cinderhulk. And Nunu can get very, very tanky because of all the kind of additional healing in the kit. You know, when you are using that Q chomp, become very tanky.
Soligo, stun comes out. OpTic doesn't want to go for any sort of a dive here. Not wanting to throw anything away. The Ignite not ready on Crown yet.
Yeah, really good pressure, though, from Meteos around this mid lane. They have kind of teamed up twice. Not only just getting the first blood, but now getting the Summoner for very little expense. And Crown is level 6 now, so if Soligo steps forward, you could just get straight up 100-0 by a level 6 Irelia, who's already ahead.
Vanguard's Edge makes a very terrifying tool in those skirmishes as Dhokla will continue pushing up here in the top side. Remember, once Sylas hits 6, you do have the ability to steal those ultimates. The Jax ulti, not the most impactful one in the world, but it will enable you to turret dive a little bit better, giving you the extra resistances.
Yeah, in an all-in fight, you know, the extra resistances are going to be feeling pretty good, but I agree, you know, it's nothing to write home about. And Dhokla so far, you know, he has a little bit of a CS advantage, but it's nothing too big at all. FakeGod is hanging on pretty well in this matchup and is going to be having a good time later on in it. Meteos is just taking away these camps. He's making it a really tough game, it feels like, for Fragas. Kind of tracking him around the map, pressuring him wherever he goes. Now he's going to go take the Raptors again and even have more of his own camps to fall back towards.
Anybody who used to watch Trick 2G Nunu videos sees the irony of having Nunu sit there and watch while all his camps get stolen away as this Sejuani just has the timers down, stealing everything away. Meteos controlling the jungle so far this game as FakeGod up against Dhokla. The farm pretty much even between these two after the wave crashed into the turret. Still FakeGod not wanting to opt into any of these fights early just because of the edge the Ignite will be giving Dhokla.
Yeah, there's no reason to risk it, right? You know, you know you'll win.
Why would you?
Later on, you know, when you're on a Triforce, when you're hitting those higher levels, you just get stronger and stronger and stronger. Sylas is going to really struggle to actually match that 1v1 power. So we'll see what exactly the plan is going to be. And you could see earlier Fragas was kind of pinging over onto OpTic's red buff, but it's really tough for him to actually even get over there whatsoever. Now it looks like he's going to try to solo out a dragon, but it's going to take him quite a while to do this, and there is potential that he does get spotted out, in which case he's just going to have to run.
Fragas is also the lowest level in the game. All 4 bottom laners are level 5. Soligo in some trouble now. Stun's going to be coming out. Chain CC going down. Meteos cashing in.
Yeah, very well done there. Repeat gank, cashing in on that earlier flash that they forced, right? And that didn't even cost Meteos his ultimate. It's just the Q flash very likely coming out. Crown doesn't have to expend any of his summoners. So Soligo going to be put even further behind off of that one. And you know, Bang, to his credit, does have a pretty significant advantage in this bot lane 2v2. He's, you know, nearing 20 CS ahead. Going to be feeling pretty good about that, but the solo lanes certainly looking good, at least in mid lane there. Crown.
It's the 3-man collapse.
Flash.
The Sejuani ultimate comes through, and they're just feeding these over to Crown.
Yep, his flash just about to come up now, so no way out of that for him. Dhokla looking for the 1v1 here against FakeGod, but FakeGod feels like he's pretty confident to take this now.
Ignite goes down, though. Dhokla heals back up with the Kingslayer. Seeing if maybe he can find a little bit more damage. Doesn't want to go for anything there with the flash. Knows FakeGod has his as well, but Dhokla will come out on top.
Yep, gets that big Kingslayer heal, plus the Ignite to actually push FakeGod back. But Dhokla, you can see how those fights are getting tougher, and if FakeGod can actually get back to full health, you know, get back into this lane, he can look to take a fight, certainly while that Ignite is on cooldown.
Soligo now just trying to secure the Scuttlecraft for himself, but Meteos has his number. The stun goes in, the Realm Warp is canceled out, and Soligo again will fall to OpTic.
Yeah, mid and jungle really being a struggle here. 400 Thieves, 0-2 on the Nunu, 0-2 on the Ryze. Top and bot are doing very well, but it's going to have to be some major advantages coming through from those guys.
Chain CC going in topside onto FakeGod, who gets himself away with a good flash. But now that that's down, this is yet another lane that Meteos can dial in on, Azale.
I mean, Meteos has just been everywhere this game, giving Fragas a rough welcome to the LCS.
Yeah.
Meteos, one of the most successful, longest-standing junglers here in NA, and showing there's a very big reason for that.
Wave continuing to be shoved up in the bottom side, and as you already said, this is your saving grace. This is your silver lining on a dark cloud for 100 Thieves. The state of the bottom lane. Bang, a world champion AD carry on a 1v9 level hyper carry in Vayne is farming up well. He will be able to scale so far, but the thing is, if you're going up against an Irelia and a Sejuani, who are both like fed like Thanksgiving dinner, you're gonna have a problem come those team fights.
Yeah, exactly, and it's not even just that, but the follow-up is pretty monstrous too, right? You have the potential for a Galio ultimate coming in, getting flash taunted, all of these things, and Twitch can actually access the backline very well with his ultimate too, so it becomes very, very difficult for Bang. Thankfully for him, he did bring cleanse, so credit to him. To be a winning lane, with that cleanse is going to be feeling very good. And I think it was an intelligent choice against that Galio. Will give him more answers to Meteos as well when you get to that team fight stage. But there's the potential to just overlap so much CC that you can't get out of all of it.
Speaking of overlapping CC, look who's hanging out topside now that FakeGod doesn't have a flash. Now, Dhokla doesn't have Ignite quite ready to go just yet. Dumping in with some stuns. Gonna miss the first couple of spells there. FakeGod taking a little bit of damage, but uh-oh, the helicopter has already landed. Meteos goes
nice
in.
view.
Good leap strike away from FakeGod there, but he is going to take a couple of turret shots. Crown coming around from the side just to make sure he doesn't get to make some sort of a ridiculous exit. But FakeGod's still going to keep jumping this. Can he get the execute? Is this actually going to be an execute?
Might actually be an execute.
Will this execute him?
I think it's been long enough. Yeah, well played.
Yeah, good job there from FakeGod. All right, XP will go over to Dhokla, but gold still denied.
And they kill big on the bottom side at the same time. So, the kill did not go over to Bang, but they are able to make a play on the bottom side of the map. They know 3 men were top and spending a lot of time up there. Crown, though, Soligo's on a ward. He doesn't know.
He's just waiting. Unfortunately, Crown can't go in on that because he has no teammates nearby, so he knows there's always a possibility of somebody coming in and trying to help that Ryze out. He doesn't want to risk that, but that is going to be first turret over to OpTic Gaming, who have a 4,000 gold lead 12 minutes in.
Yep, and now here is that bot lane play. Fragas finally being able to get something done. See, look at that curve of the snowball right around the corner there. Big takes the hit for the team, tries to flash out, but this is no way out for him, and they do get an easy kill there on the dive.
Support player life. You die so the AD carry gets away.
I mean, the Twitch has got to survive. The Twitch has got to farm up, right? That is certainly going to be one of their major win conditions. So Big does give his life for the cause, but at least the Vayne did not get the kill, and I think that is kind of the positive you can take away from it.
Protobelt also completed top lane now for this Sylas, who did invest very heavily in laning. Double Dark Seal into Corrupting Potion is about 1,000 gold, more so even around 1,200 that you're sinking into just your laning stats. So
plus the Ignite, I mean, I don't know if you want to put a gold value on that.
All right, yeah, we'll slap some gold value on Ignite too. We'll say that's worth at least 350. And then we've got the Protobelt done, so he's got the power spike. He's got that one item, fully completed advantage over his opponent, and now OpTic feels comfortable going in onto this second Drake. They got 5 men nearby. They'll be able to take this one down, no problem.
But this is kind of some of the downside of taking that Ignite that we're seeing. Dhokla can't just stay up on top side because FakeGod could TP down to the Dragon, they could have a 5v4. So he has to run all the way down to the Dragon Pit if he wants to be there. And in the meantime, Jax is catching up in farm, Jax is taking turret plates, and certainly you're gonna lose some gold in that exchange. That's two plates.
Just trying to play the more immersive version of the game. It's like doing Skyrim without fast travel.
Okay, I respect
the trees
it.
and the river and stuff. Meteos jumping in on top side here, looking to make the 2-versus-1 against FakeGod, who has very limited mana left in the tank. He'll try to buy as much time as he can, but Meteos is gonna grab number 3.
Yep, Meteos grabbing another kill for himself there. 3-0 and 2 on the Sejuani.
100% KP.
He's been monstrous this game. Really has been the catalyst for everything. And here comes Galio.
Speaking of monstrous, Crown is the man that you gotta check under the bed for before you go to sleep at night if you're 100 Thieves. This guy is also getting himself his 3rd kill.
Yeah, he is looking very, very fed. already has the Merc Treads, has the Tiamat. He's going to be really close to the Triforce at this point as well. And Soligo is just so far behind. Is rushing the Seraphs, didn't take a pit stop for a Catalyst or even a Seekers or anything along those lines. So until the Seraph transforms, he has no health, no armor that he's purchased whatsoever.
Hey, he's got a Ninja Tabby, come on.
Okay, well, he didn't have that when I said it. Just purchased it.
All right, turret plates, though, are going to be 8 to 5, so about 1.5 kills worth of gold going over to OpTic in terms of the advantage they've earned themselves there. Arrow still just on his back foot down here in the bottom lane, trying to recover the disadvantage that he's found himself at so far. Just wants to scale up. If you can have Blade of the Ruined King and Runaan's Hurricane by the time you're actually needed in a fight, you're still going to be used.
Yeah, you really will. That combo is so powerful for the Twitch. The Runaan's Hurricane plus ultimate interaction. So those Hurricane bolts are actually flying so far, allowing you to AoE people from really long range. Does make you very powerful. But at the same time, Bang looking for a monstrous 2-item power spike of his own. He's going to be working towards that Rage Blade second here. And once you have that Rage Blade stacked alongside of the Blade of the Ruined King, not only do you have so much on his damage, the PTA to boot, you're also going to be getting those Silver Bolts every 2 autos instead of every 3.
Bang is the hope here for 100 Thieves as OpTic sees that hope and wants to squash it. Arrow moves up to clear out some wards here. Gets the last shot on that one.
I mean, gold-wise, it's looking grim, but you can always kind of depend on Jax to win later in the game. You can kind of depend on Vayne to be a really big threat. But the question is, does OpTic even give them a chance to get there, or can they just snowball out these fights? Because already have that Triforce done on Irelia plus Tiamat and Merc Treads means Vayne is at risk of just getting one comboed.
Yeah, Irelia's got Trinity Force, completed shoes, Tiamat, and if you look at the inventory of the equivalent bruiser on the side of 100 Thieves, which is FakeGod on the Jax, he's at the Trinity Force thrift store, fumbling around with the parts, trying to find everything, put the whole set together, and that's not a good look for a champion that honestly needs quite a few items to really get going. Dhokla retreating now as Fragas tries to show up there with that snowball, but he's not going to find anybody.
Yeah, and they're trying to look for these picks. They know they don't want to take even fights right now, so they send 4 top. They look to try to grab this Sylas, punish Dhokla somewhat. Not able to do it, though, and in the meantime, Braum going to be working away at this bot lane turret. Should be another one going down as Soligo very far away from being able to actually respond to this.
And even if he gets down there, you're not going to fight him. As soon as Crown sees you walking up, he's going to shoot Vanguard's Edge at you and kill you before you get to the turret.
Yeah, I mean, Irelia is one of, I think, the most difficult champions to deal with once she is already ahead, because she basically stops needing to hit the stun. You just throw down the R, you have a double Q, and you're pretty much just dead. So it's definitely really tough to deal with Crown from this position that he's gotten himself into.
And I mean, as long as you hit the R, they either have to stand in the small area inside, at which point you can hit the E, or they walk into the wall and they're slowed by a bajillion, so at which point you hit the E. It's a very lot. I checked the numbers. Thank you very much. But either way, this champion, super scary at this point in time. OpTic, super scary at this point in time. Moving up into the enemy jungle. Look at the mini-map. You can see all the wards being placed down by the side of OpTic in the bottom side of the jungle there of 100 Thieves. And they're really just scared to move into that territory at all.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're establishing all of this vision control, really trying to take that over. Because now, not only do you have the CS advantages, you start taking away all of that additional farm. You're just extending the gold lead that much more because they have so many fewer places to actually farm on the map. And adding an Infernal into the kit here would feel really nice for OpTic. And I don't really see a way the 100 Thieves can contest this whatsoever. I mean, if Fragas tries to check, I think he just dies.
Yeah, this is not a tanky Nunu. He has Cinder Hulk and a chain vest. Or not even a chain vest, a cloth armor, excuse me, the baby version of the chain vest. But Infernal Drake will be taken down by OpTic here. And if you look at the inventory of Dhokla, he's going for Oblivion Orb next on the Sylas. A lot of times we see Sylases go tanky after the Proto Belt. You see things like the Iceborne Gauntlet, you see things like Spirit Visage, but Dokla's just wanting himself to be an AP torpedo this game.
Yeah, he's going to be putting out a ton of damage here once he gets that Merlos completed. And also, mitigating healing, I think, is always something that can't be overlooked. It's such an effective passive on the Merlinomicon. And it's not just about that flat spell pen. Mitigating healing from people like the Nunu, from Blade of the Ruined King here, as well on Bang, the heal from Stunt. Like, those are all very impactful things that can decide fights.
Dhokla will continue pushing FakeGod back here in the bottom lane. FakeGod finally online with that Trinity Force. 19 minutes into the game. He has the first item he needs, but the problem is, Jax is one of these champions that when you look at him with a full build of a Titanic Hydra and a Trinity Force and a Spear of Shojin and a Sterax,
here we go.
but now he doesn't have them, and Crown's gonna be in some trouble, gonna be taken down here most likely by 100 Thieves, still keeping himself alive somehow for now. Shutdown credit over to Soligo. Stunt trying to get himself away. Bang also gonna be doing the same. Meteos goes on a rampage. Can they find the kill on the mid laner now as well? Soligo goes over the wall, but Meteos is in hot pursuit. FakeGod wants to make his way into the fight here. Arrow trying to keep some distance, but it's ultimately going to be another shutdown over to 100 Thieves, and that is some much-needed money for them.
Yeah, a couple shutdowns going the way of 100 Thieves. Really big to grab that gold for themselves. It was the TP coming out from FakeGod, getting them the man advantage on the top side, and when Crown goes down, he's your strongest man. The teamfights become a lot more manageable for 100 Thieves, but in the meantime, Dhokla working away on this turret. And remember, Sylas, his passive does work on the turrets themselves, so you can be weaving in those spells, getting the bonus damage down on those turrets.
Lots of damage from that. Sylas means that the turret falls. It's a 4-to-1 turret advantage for the side of OpTic. They've still got themselves a 5K gold lead, but if the 100 Thieves can find fights like this, things might still be salvageable.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty brazen from Crown. He's feeling strong, goes straight in, does hit the 3-man stun, and look at the dashes back and forth, healing up a lot before he goes down. Then Arrow coming in, getting the spray and pray across multiple members, but 100 Thieves, they're rushing Baron.
100 Thieves have decided they're going to go for the Baron play. Can OpTic even stop it? Answer is no. Fragas grabs himself to Baron. Crown's going to be taken low, goes into the back line, looking to make something happen. Bang, grabbing the kill down now onto him, looking to do even more. Double kill over to Sylas. Soligo and FakeGod trying to get themselves away, but Meteos still has the Glacial Prison, and he got a life sentence on that one. Triple kill over to Dhokla, looking to grab one more if he can. Won't quite get it. It's Baron 100 Thieves, but 4 kills for OpTic Gaming.
Jax is the lone survivor there, running away, gets out with the Baron buff, which is gonna be something for the team, but those 4 kills are so big. I like the bold play though from 100 Thieves. You have Nunu plus a Blade of the Rune King and Ginsu's Rage Blade on your Vayne. You can burst this down and secure it. They are able to do so, and then they're able to focus down Crown, and you think, hey, maybe they could actually do it. But a massive taunt comes through from the Galio, and Dhokla and Arrow, Meteos all start AoEing the team down, pick up 4 clean kills, and FakeGod lucky to get out of there with his life.
Just barely managing to escape, keeping 1 Baron buff alive, but remember, the name of the game with Baron is setting up pressure in multiple lanes, and there's a huge difference between having 2 people survive and only 1.
It certainly is, and despite the fact that FakeGod is working towards that Spear of Shojin, which will make him so strong in the 1v1s, you never know if there's going to be a 1v1 or if there's 3 people there. Your team has no control. They have no vision, which is one of the most important things for a split pusher to actually push and get advantages, right? Could be another engage, though.
Meteos going in. The rest of OpTic's going to be showing up here now as well. Soligo keeping himself alive in the stasis. Meteos going to be tanking up. Bang, looking to hunt him down. One more shot on to do it. Galio coming in, not going to save him in time. Big still trying to find some sort of a taunt. Control that enemy AD carry. Crown going to be in some trouble now, too. Dhokla going to find a shutdown. Already a double kill over to Bang. Arrow shredding Thieves is making things happen, but Arrow has come online. Will Bang be taken down? Yes, sir, he will. And that's 5 dead on the side of 100 Thieves. OpTic lose 3, but Dhokla and Arrow are ready to push.
Yeah, Arrow and Dhokla standing strong, getting so many kills. Down the line in that fight, shredding through them. There's so much AoE from this OpTic squad when they're getting stacked up like that. It hasn't been Crown that has been taking over in the team fights. It's been about Dhokla. It's been about the Twitch. And here it is one more time. Starts out pretty well, you have to say, for the 100 Thieves. Bang is able to disengage. Soligo goes into the stopwatch. He is going to get knocked down, but at the same time, they're killing off Meteos very quickly. And this ultimate from Fragas is actually creating a lot of space. Galio's going forward. He channels the ultimate, zoning out 3. Big is going to get knocked down as well, and you're thinking, hey, maybe they can make something happen. But Arrow, huge ultimate coming across. Dhokla AoEing the rest of the squad. And it is up to Bang, but he doesn't quite have enough damage in the tank as the stun connects from Dhokla and knocks him down.
And that's exactly what we were talking about with the Twitch. Notice he only had 2 items in inventory, but they're the 2 items that matter. This champion is a team fighting monster when he's got those items ready to go. And now OpTic will grab themselves Drake number 3, another Cloud to help them with these rotations, moving around the map. Maybe, just maybe, Azale, not having teleport will be okay if you don't have 3 Cloud, if you got 3 Cloud Drakes.
I mean, when you're 407, you got a 1K bounty on your head. Things are feeling pretty okay, Flowers.
Well, OpTic are now feeling like they want to push up even further. Only one tier 2 turret left standing on the side of 100 Thieves. FakeGod has found himself pretty overextended, though. Doesn't want to stick around any longer. Recognizes it's very easy for OpTic to collapse.
Yeah, exactly. The 4-man squad from OpTic goes off the map. Well, time to run. You don't know where they are. You don't have vision. Not only is there Dhokla, who's really fed and can just beat you 1v1 at this point. I mean, he's on 3 items. There's also a Twitch who can stealth in and help to kill you. There's a Galio who can be ulting in. You know, there's so many ways for OpTic to actually shut down this split push when 100 Thieves is this far behind, because they can't get it out on the map and really establish vision control to give their Jax the freedom he needs.
The Jax still only with the Trinity Force, Kindle Gem, Longsword in inventory. Holding on to a pile of money right now, looking to farm up even further. Remember, Spear of Shojin does need a BF sword.
That's
to
expensive.
come online. As topside is Soligo in some trouble here yet again. Zhonya's Hourglass can keep him alive, if only for a moment. There comes your flash into the pond. More damage going through. Arrow looking to maybe unload here sometime soon. Fragas going to buy some space right now, but also going to be thrown right back up into the air. Bang is stunned, and the damage continues. It's 100 Thieves losing their AD carry and the entirety of their team. The Guardian Angel will bring one back, but it will not do enough. Only FakeGod stands between OpTic and the Nexus.
Yeah, this time the fight is not even close. OpTic absolutely shred them and look to close it out 25 minutes in.
OpTic have a 4 versus 1 man advantage. FakeGod will try to buy as much time as he possibly can, but with all the CC there, what is a Jax to do? He'll make his way back into the fountain, but Arrow still has free firing time onto the Nexus turrets. Soligo's up in 4 seconds, but OpTic will not give 100 Thieves the chance to make that matter. Nexus drop below half HP. Arrow continues auto-attacking, and ladies and gentlemen, OpTic will take the game.
OpTic end the season on a high note. We got some fun picks. We got the Twitch. We got to see Ignite Sylas, and we got to see Meteos dominating in this one. He was everywhere, stealing away those camps, putting out so much pressure, and allowing his soul laners to get these huge leads.
And I really think Meteos was the story of the game this time around. When you compare the difference between the junglers' performances, Fragas wasn't able to make anything happen early on. It was Meteos constantly invading and stealing from the Nunu, applying pressure to both solo lanes, blowing summoner spells, making it so no one felt safe, and just facilitating everything.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they bought enough time with those solo lane advantages, even for Arrow to catch up. And he had been behind in the 2v2, but certainly was massive in the team fights on the Twitch.
5-0 and 8, your final score, with a maximum 1,000 gold bounty. You would not look at this final scoreboard and think this Twitch was behind.
No, not at all. I mean, Bang had a solid game for himself. He was kind of the standout, you have to say, 400 Thieves.
Yep.
But it felt like everything was crumbling around them. Their solo laners were so far behind. Their jungler was very far behind, and they were never really able to craft a team fight where they could come back.
And while both teams' story for Spring Split does end here, OpTic at least get to end that story on a high note. Walking out of this one with their heads held high on a win. They did have some good play there. Everybody on the team coordinated. Yes, we got to see the Ignite, so there weren't any big macro plays coordinated with a teleport or anything like that, but the squad still looked like they had things together here going up against 100 Thieves. And to give us a breakdown of that game and a preview of the tiebreaker match, let's send things back to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Captain Flowers. Brief hit here on OpTic versus 100 Thieves, as both of these teams are not in the playoff picture, so this will be the end of their spring split. For OpTic Gaming, it'll be nice to walk away on your final day having that victory over 100 Thieves. But what were your guys' thoughts on this game and maybe prospects moving towards summer? You know, the climb that maybe OpTic or 100 Thieves could make.
Right. I thought the game, obviously this game didn't really matter to either teams. I'm kind of looking forward to the future. So OpTic is very close to being a 6th place team. Like, they could probably contest Equifax. I think they would lose. But you have to remember that in the beginning of the split, they were trying to figure out the roster, what they wanted to do. And it seems like if they can stick with these 5 players and actually build time to get the synergy and fix the issues that they had, they could be a playoff team next split.
Yeah, they definitely have tools to work with. On the flip side, 100 Thieves Academy was basically the team in here right now.
Right.
Other than Bang, it doesn't feel like anything for 100 Thieves is really locked down, and they have a lot more work to do to get to a playoff team for summer, and it's usually pretty hard to make things happen between the splits.
Right. They could talk to C9 Academy and see who they can pull to make a stronger team, because C9 Academy looks stronger than 100 Thieves.
Yeah, not a bad thought. Meteos absolutely had Fragas' number in the beginning of the game, kind of controlling that whole top side jungle, buying space for his top laner on the Sylas with Ignite. And I think that kind of told the story for the majority of the game. This sense of control out of OpTic in a lot of ways, and kind of frantic playmaking attempts out of 100
Yeah, I
Thieves.
think jungle is one of those roles that when you don't have the experience on the LCS stage and you come into like, all right, what's jungling in the LCS? Like, it's completely different than anything else. Your practice is different, your solo queue is different. So Meteos having that experience against Fragas is no stranger to taking advantage of that.
He had 2 losing lanes too.
Exactly.
It pays dividends. Well, with that game behind us, we now can only look at our playoff picture. Earlier today, we went through the quarterfinals. You guys made your picks. I elected to move Golden Guardians since 2 of you voted for Golden Guardians onto the semifinals. Of course, things could go differently. We're also assuming Team Liquid's pick. Because they are the first seed, they get to pick who they want to play in semifinals. We're going to assume Golden Guardians for 2 reasons. Number 1, they are the lower seed between TSM and Golden Guardians, as well as TL has an 0-2 head-to-head record against TSM. I think they're going to postpone playing them as long as possible.
Their owner did tweet out that he didn't know that they had
the side switch. He goes, regular split actually matters.
So I think we know they're going to pick the other team.
Exactly. So now I want to look at these semifinal matchups and talk about them real briefly. Let's start with the one on top, Team Liquid versus Golden Guardians. How do you think this surging Golden Guardian squad might be able to challenge our number 1 team who's on a slide?
That's actually a hard question.
It
now
is,
because
right?
of Team Liquid's previous game.
Rapid fire. All right, get him up there. Get him up there. Oh, no, I dropped
You
high
lost
space.
his
No,
head.
no.
I think I'm going to say Team Liquid as well.
You going?
I think
Okay.
the scary thing for Golden Guardians is that it does feel a bit like a bit of a mismatch where we're talking about wanting to leave Hanser on an island. It seems like how they want to play and then play around bot lane. But that's also Team Liquid's play style, and Team Liquid has the stronger players to pull that play style off. So despite their recent slump, I think that they would still be the favorites in that match.
Right. I feel like with this, it's not about how Golden Guardians win. It's more about how does Team Liquid lose, considering it's the first place team versus either the 4th or 5th. And when you compare the players per person, it's arguable that Team Liquid has stronger players in each role, considering they also play the same playstyle. It's hard to give the edge to Golden Guardians, but you never know.
Here's something else about it. If we're suggesting that Hanser continue to play tanks, and that's the identity that looks good for Golden Guardians, that's exactly what Team Liquid would want, because they have been struggling in the top side. And so if they're not able to exploit that lane, then I think Team Liquid's bottom lane would have the advantage over Golden Guardians. Hence, I'm going with Team Liquid.
So they can kind of buy themselves a good matchup here against Golden Guardians. Next up, we got Cloud9 versus TSM. If you thought this one was hard, this one's even harder. Rapid fire, gentlemen. Don't think about it too much.
Cloud9.
Cloud9.
We got Cloud9. Okay, 2 Cloud9, 1 TSM. So go ahead and throw Mark up here on Cloud9. Mark, defend for me why it is that you have faith in the second place team here.
I think for Cloud9, they have a really good matchup into TSM where they both like to play heavily around top lane. That's where they spend most of their resources. Kind of similar to the story we were painting with Golden Guardians versus Team Liquid. I just think C9 has the better tools for actually doing that. FLICKR, as much as Broken Blade has turned it on in the second half of the split, FLICKR is unanimously, not even close, best top laner in the league right now. Svenskaren's also done a really good job and has more experience than Acadian, who I don't think has played in a playoff best of 5 yet. If I'm not mistaken, someone hopefully double check that. But I'm pretty sure Sven still has more experience either way.
Why do you think TSM can take it?
I think that TSM has so much experience when it comes to these playoff matches, specifically Bjergsen, that I think he's just going to be able to rally the troops. These compositions with the Zillion and the Kindred, to have those bans constantly thrown at you is just going to continue to unlock them. And the fact that they've been playing so much Akali, even though Cloud9 has also been prioritizing the Akali, I do like that we've seen it more in the top side for TSM than for Cloud9.
I'll keep this short and sweet.
Yeah, do it while I set up the finals.
The C9 Twitter keeps flaming me for not picking them, so I feel like I have to give some back to them. But more importantly, that Cloud9 has an academy roster that they can actually bring up into the best of 5, where they're able to switch out the top laner, the jungler, the mid lane, whoever really. And it's not like you're playing against 5 people. You're playing versus 10 people.
Right.
Cloud9.
And we've seen them utilize that deep roster before, so we know the team and the coaching staff is not afraid to do it. That gives us a spring finals of Team Liquid versus Cloud9, the top 2 teams in the league. So once again, it's time to put your face where your mouth is. Who's gonna take it?
C9.
What did you say?
C9.
C9 is the call. Wow. And Crumbs? Wow.
C9.
Okay. So the end of the split here for TL, they're losing enough points in your guys' head.
Keep in mind, I did not choose half of these things, so I'm just going with whatever is left here.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
That's true. You kind of got.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this then, because right now in head-to-head, TL's 2-0 over Cloud9. So kind of using that whole logic of obvious previous experience or previous history between the teams, you would think TL, but this is a time when you guys are willing to kind of shirk that and contradict it.
It just feels like when the pressure starts ramping up for Team Liquid, and I know this is a slightly different roster than what we had seen at international events and things like that, they have stumbled time and time again, whereas C9, these guys we've seen play so loose, so free, and if they are struggling and Team Liquid is having problems behind the scene and C9 is basically the complete opposite picture of that, I expect that pressure to kind of boil and end up too much weight on their shoulders, and C9 will play better in the moment.
Right. For this, it basically, to me, is Team Liquid has been struggling the last 3 games. They have lost the last 3. C9 has been doing well. So it's up to Team Liquid to prove that they're a strong team once again, whereas C9 is already a strong team considering their most recent games. So I'm looking forward to C9.
Recency is incredibly important when it comes to the postseason. Well, there you have it, the rapid-fire predictions from our analysts. If it doesn't play out exactly like this, feel free to flame them incessantly on Twitter, #FlameTheDesk. With the conclusion of the regularly scheduled games, let's check back in on how your predictions went for the day. Mark!
Killing it.
Ooh.
You managed to break even.
Wait, there's one more after.
There is still one more game left to be played.
Are we
so
forgetting
there's the opportunity.
100% success rate?
You're not at the bottom of the screen. Get out of here, Crumbs.
Yeah, it was a fantastic day for you, Crumbs, but you're overshadowed by the fact that you're not in the season-long rates. But I love to see a 1-game separation with 1 game left to play in the tiebreaker.
I'm going to say I threw really hard these past few weeks, if I'm not going to lie, but it makes it more fun when I give these guys the advantage.
Yes, investing in Clutch was fun with the 12 stocks.
I lost a lot of money today. You don't have to rub salt into the wounds.
All right, well, the regular season is almost complete, but we have one final tiebreaker to play out. So stick around after the break for FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians.
Here comes Galio. Speaking of monstrous, Crown is the man that you gotta check under the bed for before you go to sleep at night, you 100 Thieves.
Going towards me. Yeah. Really. Yeah, I'm on him. I can feel you. Stretch back. Back. I can TP here. Yeah. Oh, we get slow chase back. Let me put taunt Vayne. Vayne dead. Here.
Flash, no flash.
Big still trying to find some sort of a taunt, control that enemy 80 carry. Crown gonna be in some trouble now too. Dhokla gonna find a shutdown, already a double kill over to Bang. Arrow Thieves is making things happen, but Arrow has come online. Will Bang be taken down? Yes, sir, he will. Bang is stunned, and the damage continues. It's 100 Thieves losing their 80 carry and the entirety of their team.